We're here to introduce Sandy to safe lifting techniques as recommended by the National Osteoporosis Foundation. So this would be for general lifting of anything in your house and how you would do it and keep your spine safe from fracture. So most people, especially if they have leg weakness, will lift something like this. They'll round the back and then lift. And you're going to notice that if you're in this position, your ligaments are fully stretched to end range, and you really can't use your muscles to control your spine very well. You get a lot of compression on the front of the spine when that happens. So when you're lifting, if you lift like this, you're really using the ligaments and your discs to give you the stability for the lift. And then they get stretched out over time, and then you end up with disc bulges or muscle strains or ligament sprains. So ideally what we want is to be able to hinge at the hip joints, set the shoulders on the back, get the object as close to us as possible, and then lift. So even lifting this way with the hamper, instead of using the handles that it has, sometimes is actually easier than lifting with the handles. Now, if something's really heavy, you might want to step 1 foot back and 1 foot forward and then come all the way underneath the object and then lift it. But again, someone with low bone density should not be lifting more than about 20 pounds or so. So if the object is a little heavier, if you can do this with good form and alignment, keeping the 3 bones in contact with that imaginary dowel behind your back, get the object close to you, set the shoulders down and back, and then lift. So that requires a lot of leg strength to be able to do that. So then putting it back down, stepping down, coming down, and then really requires a lot of hip mobility too. So sometimes people are not able to do those full lifts from the floor because of lack of hip mobility or lack of leg strength. So if you could stand facing me, what we're looking for is that she keeps the head, the mid-back, and the sacrum in one line as she hinges forward. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to allow her to lift anything because that's going to put undue force on the spine. So hinge forward and as if you're going to pick something up. Okay, and just hinging at the hip joints, just doing a little squat, almost like you're going to sit down in a chair. So what we're looking for is that she can keep the 3 points of contact and then the head in alignment with the body and look down just in front of you there as if you're looking at the object you're going to pick up. Okay, and then coming back up again. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is give you a dowel to be able to put against your back, and you can kind of practice that before you start your lifting.
Okay.
Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, now we'll place the dowel against your back, putting the head, the mid-back, and the sacrum against the dowel. So that encourages her to lengthen her neck, and then hinge forward at your hip joints. You can reach your arms forward and keep the 3 points of contact. Exactly. So once you can do that with good confidence and control, do it again one more time. We might have her stand up and sit down a few times, sitting in a chair, standing up, and being able to practice that with good alignment of the legs as well as the spine. But this is what's going to help her protect her spine. Now, if you could turn around, we have a hamper here that's full of towels. That's something that you would be lifting at home on a regular basis. If you could use that same technique and then place the head against the dowel first. Yeah, she tends to want to bring the head forward, which is going to encourage her to round the upper back. So if you could hinge forward and pick up the hamper. You might have to get a little closer to it, right? And then bring it close to you. So what we recommend is that if you're going to pick something up that's heavy, you want to bring it close to you as possible. That diminishes the load on the spine. If you hold it really far out in front of you, then that's going to be really challenging for your spine, and it's going to increase the compressive load on the vertebral bodies. All right, bend your knees and hinge at the hips to put the object down. Notice how she rounded her back with that. So we're going to practice, again, lengthening the spine, lengthening the neck. I want you to really keep those 3 points of contact. I'm going to press the dowel against you and then bring a step forward closer to the hamper. I know it's very artificial when it's not in real life, isn't it? And then hinge forward at your hip joints, bending your knees. Okay? And then you might even want to get even closer to the object before you lift it. So even having it almost against your knees, look down at the object. That's it. Now the 3 points of contact are here. Now set your shoulder blades on your back. There you go. If you can think of pulling your shoulder blades back and then lift, much better. That's exactly how we want her to do it. and then hinge to put it down. We don't want to see an increase in the thoracic curve as she lifts something. So it takes a lot of practice to be able to do these kind of things, and really using the dowel on your back is helpful. You can either stick it in your shirt at home, and you can face me, yeah. You can stick the dowel inside your shirt, or you can use a TheraBand and tie it to your back to practice at home. Okay? Great job. So those were general lifting techniques from National Osteoporosis Foundation for fracture prevention in the spine.